The following are properties, original work, creations, and ideas of Kelebogile Sehoa. The ElementRings brand includes, but is not limited to, the ElementRings Pty Ltd company, the ElementRings script, comic book or manga script, characters, movie script, ElementRings merchandise, and Negu brand. All rights claimed and reserved by Kelebogile Sehoa. Hello and welcome back to ElementRings. Here's a quick recap before we continue. Botlale's family picked him up from the hospital and they drove home. Before they left the parking lot, however, Botlale thought about how he almost died. Please check out the previous audios before jumping to this one. Now let's continue with the story. As Botlale was starting to realize what the ring is, his mother called out to him multiple times, but he didn't hear her once. She raised her voice and asked, "Botlale pila fela, how many times must I call out to you before you answer me?" Botlale looked at his mother with a blank expression and said, "Sorry, Mom, you were saying?" Matlohonolo then answers, "I was asking if you were okay. You woke up so abruptly just now." Zakes chips in for Botlale and says, "Honey, he is restless. He just needs to get home. That's all." The family arrived home a few minutes thereafter. Zakes drives the car into the driveway right in front of the gate and presses the remote that opens the gate automatically. He immediately drives into the yard and presses the remote again and it closes the gate. Everyone gets out of the car and waits as Matlohonolo unlocks the house. As soon as the door was ajar, Botlale rushes into the house. "Botlale, do you want to make your injuries worse?" Matlohonolo says in a defeated tone. "I'm sorry, Mom. I'm just in a hurry to get to sleep. Please don't disturb me," Botlale asked his mom. Zakes looked at the two young ones and said, "You heard? Your bro doesn't want to be disturbed." They didn't have any objections to that. Botlale entered his room and locked it. He sat on the bed, took everything out of the package and laid them on his bed. He opened the instruction manual and laid flat on his gut and started reading it. Welcome, future ringer. The following is everything you need to know about the ring you have now. The ring is only permitted to be worn on any of the fingers in or on the right hand. That's the only way it'll work. These fingers are the pinky, the right ring, the middle, and the index fingers. Since these fingers are all different sizes, the ring will grab onto the one it goes on and not fall off. If there's rapid movement, the ring will fall off unless the wearer takes caution to prevent that from happening. The ring will bestow its wearer with a specific power depending on which finger it's on. The powers are as follows. The pinky finger gives the wearer the power to hear people's thoughts. Do bear in mind that hearing people's thoughts is only an aspect of telepathy and not telepathy as a whole. The right ring finger gives the wearer the power to be any age they'd want. All they have to do is think about it. The middle finger gives the wearer the power to see 2 minutes into the future only if something bad will happen to the wearer in the next 2 minutes. If worn while asleep, the wearer can dream 2 days into the future, but only about their deepest desire. And this can only take place once. The index finger gives the power to be a smarter and more cunning version of themselves. The following are the terms and conditions. The ring will only work once for each finger unless the ritual is done. The ceremony will entail reading and understanding the instruction manual and then burning it afterward. The ceremony can take place at any time of the day. It is worth noting that the ring will be more in tune if the ceremony happens around midnight. When burning the instruction manual, the person who read and understood it should be around the fire burning it so they can inhale the fumes. The ring should be present during this whole ordeal. It will automatically absorb the fumes. That is the ritual that will ensure the ring is wholly magical, no matter how many times it's taken off or put back on. The person to do this will subsequently be regarded as a ringer and must also understand that the above terms and conditions constitute a contractual agreement. The following is also important. Whether or not the ritual has been done, never put the ring on the thumb. Never, ever. After reading the instruction manual, Botlhale rolled over on his back and looked up and wondered to himself. That was too much to take in. If the ring gives you all those remarkable powers, does that mean magic is real? Botlhale thinks to himself as he remembers what he said to the lady who helped them back at the Mystic Wonders store. He suddenly remembers something. Wait a minute. If I'm not mistaken, Mr. J was repeating the things I was thinking back at the mall. He did it a few times as well. And that vision I had of me and Mr. J enveloped by rubble right before the store was struck. I didn't think of it at the time, but it seems as if he was reading my mind, and later on I saw 2 minutes into the future. Botlhale thought to himself. He continued to wonder. To top it off, I could hear everybody's voices while I was asleep in the car on our way home. Of course, wearing the ring on the pinky gives the wearer the ability to hear people's thoughts, and wearing it on the middle finger gives the wearer the power to see 2 minutes into the future if something bad is going to happen to them. Mr. J was wearing his ring on the pinky the whole time, and so was I on the way back home. Botlhale was starting to piece everything together. This is way too good to be true. Imagine the things I'll be able to do with all these powers at my disposal. Botlhale thought some more. Botlhale was happy. He never in a million years would have thought he'd be in such a position. I really can't believe this is happening, Botlhale says while looking at the ring. My foe! I can't believe I've gone so long without thinking about it. Thank goodness Mom took it from me back at the hospital. He got up from his bed and there it was on the side unit. He picked it up and switched it on. It took a few minutes to be fully on and he looked at it and saw it was 15:45. Then a flurry of messages came in. His phone was blowing up. He checked on every message and attended to 3. Tisetsos, Mendis, and Mushidis. He spoke for about 2 hours with his friends. It was now time for dinner. Let me go put this thing to the test, Botlhale said while putting it on the index finger. He stood up from his bed and walked out of his room. Good, you are up. How are you feeling? His mother asked. Quite frankly, Mother, I'm discombobulated and can't fathom the notion that is reality at this moment, Botlhale answered. Okay, Mr. Smartypants, I'll take that as a yes, Matlohonolo said with a smile. And that's the end of the 33rd release. As you all heard, Botlhale just read the instruction manual and it seems he has figured out that magic is real, even though he once said it wasn't. Since you heard how 2 of the powers were used, stay tuned to find out how the index finger's powers will be used. Thanks for the support and bye for now.